Laying the foundation stone of the Madurai University, the president said, I am grateful to the authorities of the university for kindly inviting me to this happy function. By itself, this is a rare privilege and honor to be thus associated with the development of this university. It is a very nice decision of the state government to establish a university in this place, which is the second largest city in the state. It is one of the few places in India which richly deserves this high honor. I would very much like to compliment the people and the government of the state on the great and useful work they have been doing to improve education in all branches. The extent of voluntary enterprise, the generous contributions made by the local people for educational purposes, and the large number of competent and the willing teachers which you possess clearly indicate your faith in improving the standards of education. The establishment of university in Madurai would enable the students in and around who were till now going to Madras University to get university education easily and cheaply. You have given a lead to the country in several fields. I note that you were the first to levy a library cess and promote library movement. You were the first to develop a very big program of midday meals in schools and of providing free books, notebooks, and uniforms to deserving children studying in elementary schools. You also took a lead in making education free up to the secondary stage. Also, I am glad to find that science education has taken deep roots in your area. I very much wish that the other states in India would adopt similar policies in regard to development of education in their respective states. Universities in India are facing great challenges today. They have a different task of shaking off the old traditions which give undue prominence under certain aspects of education. They have now to participate actively in programs of national development. It is their responsibility to develop the influence of the people. It is their important duty to take interest in schools and to undertake concrete programs to improve school education itself. Also, you have to guard against frequent strikes and the consequences thereof. Student unrest, whatever be the reason, will certainly paralyze the smooth functioning of the educational system, and hence it is imperative that everyone concerned in the proper development of education should carefully avoid its disastrous consequences and take such steps which will create a change of heart at all levels and which will result in the smooth functioning of university life. I am sure every one of you is fully aware of the difficult days that the universities have to face. Their difficulties are becoming more and more acute nowadays because of the steep decrease in resources. For instance, the cost per student has increased while the national income is low. I am quite conscious that the universities have never before experienced such difficulties and challenges in the past. Nevertheless, I am not disturbed by the magnitude of these challenges and difficulties and the dwindling resources. In my view, the central theme of education is to enable the people to face these difficulties and challenges boldly and squarely. I believe that education thrives on challenges and its quality improves in proportion to its magnitude. My main object in referring to these factors is to make an appeal to all concerned to rise to the occasion and to do their best to meet these challenges and improve higher education. In order to enable the universities to meet these challenges, I appeal to the state and central governments to provide resources on a liberal scale. I also appeal to the politicians to take a long range view of the problem and not to rest content with dealing with the problems of the immediate present. It is their paramount duty to help the system of higher education to function smoothly and effectively. In conclusion, I would like to address my appeal to the teachers and students. I do realize that educational resources are essential, but I must tell them that more than additional resources, the results depend upon how these resources are utilized by the students and teachers. It is therefore their primary responsibility to improve higher education by creating a climate of discipline, dedication, and hard work. In this, the lead must come from the teachers because the quality of education and its contribution to national development are entrusted to their charge. On their part, the students also have to realize their responsibility. They are the members of the university community. It is therefore their duty to set an example of responsible and civilized life. I am well aware that they have several difficulties and problems, but these problems can be solved only through peaceful and constitutional methods. They should adopt these methods and also the methods of give and take. By adopting such methods, they should create an atmosphere conducive to national development. I am sure you will really find it possible to adopt these methods and thus contribute your valuable share for the development of higher education in the state.